what is your role with CADMA?
So I'm actually a founder and director of CADMA. So CADMA was founded with a grant, a Presidential Academic Excellence Grant, about 3 years ago. So we were able to kind of put together 4 things that we felt like the marketing department had some gaps. So one of the things is to put on a social media competition. Another thing is to put on a digital marketing summit. The third thing is to move media, create a student-run social media marketing agency. And then the third thing is to kind of make sure our marketing students are trained in digital marketing.
Okay, awesome. So what inspired you to lead CADMA?
Well, I think the inspiration comes from kind of a passion for students and just me wanting to give back to what I know from an industry standpoint, and always researching things. And one of the biggest things in the development of CADMA is that there's a gap out there with the businesses in hiring students for digital marketing or social media marketing jobs. There's a kind of a connotation for millennials that they kind of know everything about social media, but they actually don't. So, and that's probably why you guys are in this class, to kind of help facilitate and close that gap between where the business is looking for and then what the students can actually do from a social media standpoint.
What's your favorite thing about CADMA?
I think, well, my favorite thing is just the students. You know, I enjoy it because I'm able to do something that's kind of cutting edge, leading edge out there. Ball State is probably one of very few universities that have a center like this, and you know, we've got a student-run agency that is totally run by students. And then I've got 2 wonderful classes that I get to teach in social media marketing. You know, don't know a lot about social media, but I know the industry, and I think I'm able to facilitate the resources and the tools for the students to get that knowledge.
To kind of counter that, what's the most challenging thing about CADMA?
The most challenging thing about CADMA is teaching 6 classes and then managing CADMA. So there's a lot of things that go into planning these events, and there's a time frame, and we got to promote, we got to recruit, we got to get sponsorship. So I would say that's kind of the toughest part, managing that and then managing teaching those classes. So.
Okay. And where do you see it in 5 years?
5 years, I see a totally different look on CADMA. I mean, the plan that we had 3 years ago, and we're 18 months in, has changed and evolved. So we're trying to close out, I think it's the next 13 months of CADMA with this grant, and then we'll begin to work on a 3-year plan. But I definitely see the changes. Digital marketing is changing monthly, weekly, annually. So it's really hard to say the 3 to 5 years what we'll be doing. We'll be doing something great because we want to be on the leading edge out there. So.
Okay. What drew you to this field in general with social media and digital media?
Well, my background is in traditional marketing, so and continuing to learn about marketing and what's going on, where the world of marketing is transitioning from, you know, companies and agencies spending more money on the digital side versus on the traditional side. Not saying that the traditional is still not around, but it is. But I am very intrigued about the digital side and where it's going. So just not a lot of education out there, and we're trying to fill that void here at Ball State.
Do you have any predictions for the direction of digital media in the coming years?
Let's see, what would be my prediction? I do have some predictions from the social media platforms. And I know students in my class, they know that I say Facebook is king, because it is king. Mm-hmm. But I anticipate a transition of Twitter and Snapchat. Actually, I don't know whether they'll be around the next 3 years. I mean, that would be my prediction. I think they will be replaced with some other things. I see Instagram is really stepping up, you know, based on it's so easy and accessible these days. It's convenient for a lot of the demographics out there. So I think that right there will transition. But absolutely, Twitter and Snapchat, I don't know whether they can maintain where they're at or sustain. Yeah.
What advice would you give somebody considering a career in digital media and analytics?
My advice would be that you continue to stay in touch with what's going on. So it's not what you know today or yesterday, it's what you're going to know in the future. So just continue to stay up to date, utilize the resources that are out there. There's a lot of resources where companies in the industry, they keep things up to date. They're doing it and working it every day, but just staying up to date in those things, you know, getting email every day from Social Media Today, or you know, reaching out and seeing what Moz.com or Hootsuite or HubSpot or Google Analytics, what they're doing there. That would be my strong recommendations for students today. Yeah.
I know you've mentioned a couple of different ones throughout this interview, but do you have a favorite social media platform or digital media analytics tool?
Favorite social media platform? Yeah, I mean, I know I should be out there. I really don't have a favorite. You know, Facebook I use for teaching purposes and stay in touch with my family. So that would be probably, for me, given my demographic and my generation, that's probably something more suitable for me. So I would say that. What was the other part of the question?
The digital media analytics tool.
So from a digital media analytics tool, there's a lot out there today. I know we use TalkWalker. They've been a great sponsor and supporter of us. But there's others out there like Sprout Social, BrandWatch, NetBase. Quite expensive. Their focus is more on enterprise type companies. But certainly they have the intelligence, which is getting better, you know, to kind of keep people familiar with what's out there, and it gives you an opportunity to watch your social media and manage it a little bit easier. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that wraps it up. Thank you so much for the time to answer a couple questions.
All right, thank you guys.